Once upon a time, in the city of Ebube, they say every mirror remembers the faces that once stood before it. But some mirrors remember more than faces. They remember truth. This is the story of Amma, a young widow who returned to her husband's village to bury the past, but instead uncovered what the living tried to hide. When she looked into the mirror, she didn't see her reflection. She saw her husband smiling with another woman. And from that moment, her world would never be the same again. Because sometimes the dead aren't gone, and the truth doesn't rest quietly in the grave. The truth has no shadow, because light itself cannot hide. When Amma's husband, Kojo, died, everyone in the town of Ebube came to mourn. They called him a good man, a faithful husband, a generous soul. But that was before the mirror, before the whispers, before the truth began to breathe in her house. The sun had barely risen when Amma stepped off the bus. The dusty air of her husband's hometown wrapped around her like a memory she didn't ask for. She held a small bag in one hand and a folded black cloth in the other, the symbol of mourning. The villagers watched her from their doorways. Some whispered, "That's Kojo's widow, the one from the city." Amma bowed her head politely, forcing a smile she didn't feel. She had come not just to bury her husband's belongings, but to find peace. That's when an old woman stepped forward, wrinkled face, eyes bright like hidden fire. "You are Amma, Kojo's wife," she said. "I am Nana Efwa, the keeper of this house. Your husband left you something." Amma frowned. "Left me something?" Nana Efwa nodded and pointed inside. The air in the house was cold, too cold for mourning. There, leaning against the wall, was a tall, ancient mirror framed in ebony, patterns of Adinkra symbols twisting like vines. "It was your husband's grandfather's mirror," the old woman said softly. "They say it shows not what is seen, but what is hidden." Amma laughed nervously. "A mirror? What would I do with that?" "Keep it," Nana Efwa whispered, "but never stare too long. The mirror remembers names." Days turned into quiet nights. Amma cleaned, cooked, and tried to forget the city life she had lost. Every night, before sleeping, she passed by the mirror. It stood in the corner like a silent watcher. The first time she looked into it, her heart skipped. Her reflection blinked a second slower than she did. She shook her head and laughed. "I'm just tired," she told herself. But that night, as she lay in bed, she heard it. A whisper, faint but clear. "Amma." She sat up. The room was still. The mirror gleamed faintly under the moonlight. Her breath quickened. "Amma." The voice came again, gentle, almost mournful. She approached it slowly, holding her lamp close. Her reflection shimmered, then rippled like water. And then she saw him, Kojo, standing behind her reflection, smiling. She screamed, dropped the lamp, and the room plunged into darkness. When the neighbors came running, they found nothing, only Amma trembling, eyes wide. "It was him," she whispered. "Kojo." They shook their heads. Grief can trick the eyes. But Amma wasn't sure. The next morning, Amma visited Nana Efwa. "The mirror," she said, It spoke to me. The old woman nodded slowly. Then it has chosen you. Chosen me for what? Ama asked. To see truth. But truth is not always a gift, my child. Sometimes it is punishment. Ama's hands trembled. I don't want to see ghosts. Then close your eyes, Nana Efwa said, because truth lives even when you pretend not to see it. That night, Ama decided to test the mirror. She stood before it and whispered, if you show truth, show me my heart. The mirror shimmered. For a moment, she saw herself. Then another image overlapped. Kojo, standing with a woman Ama had never seen. The woman was laughing, touching his face. Behind them was a house, modern, familiar. Ama gasped. That was their city apartment. Her knees weakened. No, he wouldn't. The vision faded, leaving only her tear-streaked reflection. But the seed of doubt had already been planted. The next day, Ama packed a small bag and took the morning bus to Accra. Her friends Essie and Kweku were waiting. Essie hugged her tight. Ama, you look pale. You should rest. Ama shook her head. I need to see the apartment. When they arrived, the caretaker looked surprised. Madam, you came back? Back? Ama frowned. He nodded. Yes, the man said you both traveled abroad. Ama's pulse raced. What man? Your husband, Kojo. Her heart stopped. That's impossible, she whispered. He's dead.
The caretaker looked confused. Dead? But I saw him last month. Ama's hands began to shake. Last month? He nodded. He came with a lady. Said you were moving to London. Essie clutched Ama's arm. Ama, maybe it's a mistake. But deep inside, Ama knew the mirror had not lied. Following a trail of rumors, Ama found Kojo 2 days later in Tema, alive, healthy, and shocked to see her. He froze. Ama, how did you? She slapped him. Are you a ghost or a liar? Kojo's mouth opened, then closed. I had no choice, he said finally. The deaths, the threats, I had to disappear. Ama stared at him in disbelief. So you let me mourn you? You let me bury an empty coffin? Tears filled her eyes. You let me live with pain while you played husband to another? Kojo looked away. You won't understand. No, she said quietly. I understand too well. You were afraid of truth, but truth found me. Ama returned to Akwasi Bebre with fire in her chest. The villagers gathered when they saw her dragging the mirror into the square. Nana Efwa watched from her stool. You have seen, she murmured. Now what will you do? Ama faced the crowd. This mirror showed me my husband's lies, but it can show you yours too. The people shifted uneasily. One by one they approached, and one by one the mirror revealed hidden truth. A man stealing from the market fund, a woman whispering poison behind a friend's back, a chief who took bribes. The crowd gasped. The air grew heavy. Finally, Ama turned to Nana Efwa. What should I do with it? Truth is power, but power without mercy destroys. That night, Ama stood before the mirror one last time. Kojo's reflection appeared, silent, ashamed. Ama, he whispered, I'm sorry. She closed her eyes. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I forgive you, she said softly. Not because you deserve it, but because I need peace. The mirror glowed, then cracked, a single line splitting it in two. The whisper stopped. In the morning, when the villagers came, the mirror was gone. Only shards of glass lay scattered in the sand, reflecting the first light of dawn. Months passed. Amma rebuilt her life, this time without shadows. She opened a small school for girls, teaching them about courage, truth, and forgiveness. One afternoon, a little girl asked, "Auntie Amma, is it true the mirror spoke to you?" Amma smiled. "Yes, it did." "What did it say?" She looked out at the horizon, where the sky touched the sea. It said, "What is hidden will always find light. You can lie to the world, but never to your own reflection."
And so, they say if you ever find a mirror that feels too cold to touch, do not ask it questions unless you're ready for the answers. Because sometimes, the truth you fear most is your own reflection. Enjoy this story. Don't forget to subscribe to Tales African by Mary. Tap on the notification bell so every new story gets to you first. Tell us in the comments what you think about the story. Share this story with family and friends. Till I come your way again, stay blessed.